So I can see the end of that delivery valve down in there, and it says basically I should invert this and it should come out fairly easily, and if it doesn't, it says to use extraction tool, and it goes on to say use extractor 13383 to remove it. So there's a special tool to take that out, but I bet you I could grab it with my little magnet. So let me see if it'll come out just by tapping it. Alright, tapping it out didn't work, so now I'm going to try and my magnetic pickup might have fit down there, but I can't find it at the very moment. And actually it's pretty small, it might not even fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this small screwdriver, and I'm going to essentially put this magnet on here. And what that's going to do is that's going to slightly magnetize the tip of this screwdriver. Hopefully that'll be enough to grab that. Well, it's definitely magnetizing the screwdriver because it keeps wanting to stick to the idea of the rotor here. That ain't working. Plan B. Here's what I did. I knew if I found something just with the right diameter to it. This is actually heat shrink tubing. I stuck it down there and got it to stick over that little nipple, and then gently pulled it out, and that's how I was able to extract the delivery valve. So this was 1/8 inch heat shrink tubing. So I'll get back to my parts inspection in a bit. Right now I want to talk about this rotor, getting this out. Remember I talked about the two half circles in there. Those are called rotor retainers, and I couldn't figure out exactly how to get those out. And then I found in this manual and one of the other ones, they both describe the same procedure, which is that there is a ring that needs to be removed before that rotor can be taken out. So it doesn't really illustrate it well in this manual. Let me get the other one and show you. That other manual was a excerpt from a DB2, Standardine DB2 pump manual that somebody had put online on their website. So it was free, which was nice. But then I also found this one. This one's a Fiat Alice fuel injection pump, but then you can see it says Rooster Master DM series. So again, not the right series of pump, but it shares a lot of the same stuff. Here's a couple of the things that are completely different. You'll notice on this one here, it's got a completely different seal and like a support bearing type of deal up in the front. And then of course the other big difference with this pump from my pump is this has got the type of outlets on the back that actually, instead of having these adapter things here, it's got a end cap that's actually got the outlets on it, and that's more typical of the newer pumps. And then in this pump here they show the DM2 with 2 rollers like mine, and then they also show that there was a DM4 with 4 rollers. And then also, if you notice on this rotor, there's this plate right on the end here that the actual governor weight assembly attaches to, as opposed to on mine where the governor weight assembly is this whole ring and it's held on by a snap ring, this ring right here. So that's just a couple of the differences, but then there's a lot of stuff that is still very still the same as what I have. See, here's the delivery valve. There's the stop that we're going to discard and replace with a new one. There's the delivery valve I just cut out. So that's all the same. But then here's how the it's got these little retaining rings and everything on this pump. This is how the weight retainer for the governor weights attaches with these little rubber cushions. It's a completely different setup there. Looks like the little metering valve and spring and lever is very similar to what I just took out of this one. Okay, here's what I was looking for. So if you notice, there's a ring right there, and it's right here, step 19, lift the liner locating ring from the rotor retainers. The early design transfer pump components used a locating ring with a split. Remove this solid ring by inserting two small rods or hex key wrenches into the two holes in the ring and prying outward. So here in the picture they show it's got a split in it on the early version, and if you look right down there, they're talking about this ring right here. You can actually see I'm moving. There's a little split right there. So that little ring right there, that's going to come out, and when that is removed, that's going to allow these two halves, which are the rotor retainers, to be able to move out just far enough to be removed. Boy, getting that ring off is a kind of a bear. If I use my little screwdriver blade here and I pry that apart a little bit, I was able to work this up, so I've got just a little bit of a lip. I'm wondering now if I use my snap ring pliers right in the middle there, if I can expand that ring and slide it up and off. Yeah, unfortunately my snap ring pliers aren't even going to open up wide enough to do that job. So if I had larger snap ring pliers, I might be able to do it that way. Let me see if I can just grab it with a second screwdriver and carefully pry it apart. This ring's a lot narrower than the one pictured in the diagram here on the newer series pump. And so what I found is that I can just kind of work it out slowly with my screwdrivers. Getting it, there we go. So now, let's see if I can grab it with my magnetized screwdriver. Come on. There's the ring, okay. And you see what happens is now that I've removed the ring, these two retainers slide out of the way, like so. And what that is going to allow me to do now is pull the head right off of the rotor, or if I invert it I could pull the rotor out the other way. I gotta put the camera in. Okay. There we go. And now you can see the rotor. Now the manuals, both of them, they warn against handling this surface at all, so they don't even want you touching that. So I'm just going to clean diesel fuel and inspect it best that I can, and I'm just looking for any really bad scoring or signs of wear. definitely see right here, there's a band right there and a band right there of wear. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's beyond its serviceable limit. Well, that discoloration there, or tarnish or whatever it is on the end there, that certainly doesn't look like it should be that way.